Hi everybody, I'm Sheree from the library, and this edition of Sheree's Stories is all about my top picks for 2025. I'm going to start with one of my favorite authors of all time, Holly Goldberg Sloan. Some of you may have read Counting by Sevens, some of you may have read The Elephant in the Room. Once I find an author that I love and I hear that they have a new book, I get really excited because I know it's going to be incredible, and this one was no exception. The new one is called Finding Lost, and Lost, in fact, is a dog. This is the story of Cordy, and Cordy has had a real serious loss when her father was killed in a boating accident. She and her family are trying to work through that, and when loss comes into their lives, a whole lot of things happen. This is All the Blues in the Sky, written by Renee Watson. It is also about a girl who is experiencing a lot of grief in her life. She belongs to a grief group, and you meet all the different people who are in the group and find out why they're there, how their stories are different, how they're the same, and how she's trying to work through all those sad feelings. Gordon Corman, I've talked about him a lot over the years, never disappoints. This particular one is about a kid who is in a skiing accident. He breaks both his legs and now he is stuck at home. And he starts to watch the people out his window, and then he starts to watch them a little more closely. And now he's pretty much snooping into all their business. Some of that might be interesting, some of that might be dangerous. Busted by the incredible Dan Gamenhart. This is the guy who wrote the Coyote Sunrise books and The Honest Truth. Everything he does is powerful and intense. This book is a little bit funnier, a little bit more lighthearted. And it's about a kid who lives with his grandpa in a senior apartment, and his grandpa finds out he's going to be evicted. So the kid and his grandpa need to find some cash fast. And the guy they turn to is a little bit of a criminal who has some pretty interesting friends. Check it out if you're looking for something that goes fast and funny. A little bit more serious. This is The Teacher of Nomadland. You can see that it's short. This book takes place in World War II. A young boy and his sister find themselves separated from their parents and in a lot of danger in Iraq. And he decides to try to pose as the teacher that some of the locals have been trying to get to come to teach in their village. Very dangerous and very unexpected consequences. Outside. When you start to read this book, you think you know everything that's happening. It is about some people after a terrible event has infected much of the remaining humans, and they're in sort of a cave situation. They don't go outside because it's very, very dangerous. And you think that you are finding out all about how all these things came to be, but there's a twist in this book. Whatever you do, don't leave home. But when the main character does leave home, she finds out something amazing. Same way with The Experiment. So The Experiment is by Rebecca Stead, who has written some incredible books for young people, but every one of them has something, not just a twist in it, but something that blows my mind because I did not see it coming at all. The Experiment is about families that have come here as aliens, and they live amongst humans, and they are here to study and find out more about our planet. But that's not always the case, and what happens in this book is very different than the original Experiment. Full of Thieves, it's about a group of kids in London who live in the streets, and they sort of stay alive by doing a lot of petty crimes. When the main character is given the chance to come to a school, he quickly finds out that it is a school not just for thieves, but run by thieves, with a lot of danger and a lot of unexpected mystery. I couldn't put this one down. I read it all the way through in one sitting, and I hope you like it as much as I did. I have talked for years to you guys about Alan Gratz, and here are two things that are happening with Alan Gratz. One is the brand new book, War Games. It is the story of 1936 Berlin, and a young girl is going to compete in the Olympics, the same Olympics that the amazing American athlete Jesse Owens competes in. So once again, per usual with Alan Gratz, you have some very true things happening, and then you have the story that weaves around them, and then the stories that are brought together at the end. Refugee is an Alan Gratz book that I've talked to you a lot about. It is now out in graphic novel form. So if you read the book and loved it, this is a great way to experience it again. If you haven't read an Alan Gratz book before, this graphic novel may be the way to get you a chance to experience this cool author. Also, talked about a lot over the years is the track series. Started with Ghost, there was Lou, Patina, Sonny, and now the Coach book is out. The coach who appears in every one of those other books, this is the story of when that coach was younger and how he came to become a track star himself. The Trouble with Heroes. Now you can see there's a dog on this book, so right away that pulls me in. And this is a big slobbery Bernese dog. I just got one of these, so I was particularly interested in that. This is about a kid who has made some really bad choices and done some pretty awful things, but he is given the chance to work off his debt by going on a series of hikes that the person who he wronged thought were very important and very valuable. It is a novel in verse, so it goes really fast, and it talks about each one of these different hikes that he takes. Now let me tell you, in the beginning, he is not a fan of this idea. He is angry, he is crabby, and it does not go well. And he has to take the big slobbery dog with him. But things start to happen and things start to change. And at the end of this book, again, I stood up and cheered and thought, I can't wait to tell you all about it. All of these are fantastic. I hope you come borrow some from the library or find something that you really love. Thanks a lot. Bye.